In this video, I really wanted to talk to you about airflow. When it comes to commercial smoke removal, airflow really matters. It's a very important part of the equation. So let's just start out with, a standard rectangular room. And it really doesn't matter the size. We can figure out all the sizing later and do all the calculations. Here's the fault of the customer. Oftentimes they're looking at it and saying, I've got a bar here, so let me put a smoke eater there. And unfortunately, that just doesn't cut it. Because smoke drifts everywhere, and there's no way that this one smoke eater is going to pull smoke from the far reaches of the room. So you've got one area where there's not too much smoke, but then you've got dead spaces in the room where the smoke just sits and hangs. So the ideal way to deal with this is to set up the smoke eaters evenly spaced throughout the room. So if you were to divide the room in half, you've got 1 and 1. Now, one point real quick. When it comes to smoke, 1 is never going to work as well as 2. Even if you get the biggest, most powerful machine, 1 is not going to work as well as 2 lesser powered machines. Why? Because this way you can pull smoke from multiple places in the room instead of just 1. So, that being said, it really does matter which direction you point these in. Now, most people, and a lot of people, would think, well, if the bar is here and the smokers are here, let me position the intakes here and here to suck it in the quickest. And that makes some sense. But what I want to offer you is a slightly better solution. And when I draw it out, it will make more sense for you. So let's say you had this one with the airflow going this way. Okay, drawing the smoke in close to the bar. Now, instead of having this one point the same direction, what I am recommending is that we have the smoke, or this air purifier or smoke eater, going the opposite direction. And the reason for that is so that you get a nice circular or even figure 8 airflow pattern. So what happens is you get smoke swirling around, and it even goes this way too. And this one comes this way as well. So having them going in opposite directions creates this pattern. Watch. In this case, there are no dead spots. You've got smoke being pulled from every part of the room. Any smoke that's over here is going to get caught in the airstream and kind of pushed around and then brought in. And this is the most efficient way of handling smoke removal. A couple of other factors real quick. Let's say you've got some ceiling fans. My recommendation, unless the climate and heating and air conditioning is too critical, you don't want them on. Why? Because that's just going to stir up the smoke. Especially if they're over the bar, they're just going to disperse the smoke and get in the way of this airflow that we've created. If you do need to have ceiling fans, try to make sure that they are not here or here. Now this marker is not working too good. So if you do have ceiling fans, make sure that they're not right near the intakes of the smoke eaters. And the reason for that is that a ceiling fan, if it's pushing air away from the smoke eater, guess what? The smoke will never get into the smoke eater, therefore it will never get cleaned out of the air. So watch your ceiling fans. I would say if you've got to do this, have them be far away from the intakes. Just be as far away as you can. The other thing is heating and air conditioning vents. The same exact scenario holds true. If you've got an air conditioning vent right here and it's blowing air this way, guess what it's going to do? It's going to push the smoke away from the intake of the smoke eater, and guess what? Nothing gets cleaned. No air gets cleaned. So when it comes time to map out where you're going to install your smoke eaters, you really got to be very much aware of the ceiling, what's up there, where the air conditioning and heating vents are, and the airflow that's created. One tip that I often recommend to my customers is climb up on a stepladder and hold a Kleenex. like just a tissue, up where you're going to mount the smoke eater and have the intake. If that Kleenex is getting blown around by either a ceiling fan or an air conditioning or heating vent, you may want to rethink that location for the smoke eater. The good news is, if you've got any questions or concerns, you can always sketch this out for me on a piece of paper, fax it over, and I'd be glad to take a look and kind of make some recommendations for you. So I hope this really makes sense. Airflow totally matters when it comes to commercial smoke removal, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.